Welcome back to the Tigers Den podcast, guys. Before we get started, you know what we got to do. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're brand new. And don't forget to hit those links down in my description and follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG at Big C Got Game. Well, that makes 2 in a row. Grambling State moves to 3-1 on the season with an impressive win over the Arkansas Razorbacks, 52-28. Slow start in the first half, but in the second half, the Tigers exploded for 38 points. In his first start in college football, Chris King had a solid day, 13 of 18 for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He seemed to have complete control of the offense and did a great job spreading the ball out and taking shots downfield. On the ground, after Charlie Brooks went down, Joel Thomas came in and had a big day. 18 carries for 139 yards and 3 scores. We'll check in a little later to see how long Brooks might be out for, but I believe that Thomas is a star in the making and will do just fine if Brooks has to sit out for a period of time. Out wide, freshman Sean Edwards has become such a reliable downfield target. He grabbed 4 balls for 117 yards and 1 score. Guess what, guys? There was a Demetrius gun sighting. He caught 3 balls for 98 yards, and that spin move to break that 85-yard TD was so nasty. The quarterbacks have to get Bradford and Terrell Moore involved in the offense. Our 2 big targets only had 2 grabs apiece. On defense, Josh Carey is still playing like a man possessed this year. He had another 14-tackle game, but the star of this game has to be Richard Maynard with his 4 sacks. And I have to give credit to the Tigers secondary. They held Hyatt and the Razorbacks to only 117 yards passing. D coordinator Chris Pruitt's mix of zone and man is really working for the G-men. Digging deeper into the stats, the Razorbacks gained more first downs and outrushed the Tigers, but it was the passing game and the 5 rushing touchdowns from the Tigers' backfield that changed the game. Taking a look at the top 25, Nebraska still sits number 1, followed by USC. Florida moves up to 3, the Buckeyes are 4, and North Carolina rounds out your top 5. Michigan is in at 6, Minnesota at 7, Maryland is 8, Penn State falls to 9, and Cal is number 10. Where's Grambling State, you ask? Well, they fell out of the top 25 this week, but are ranked 26th in the country. Take a look at your players of the week in the SEC, and congrats to defensive end Richard Maynard with his 4 sacks. He is your SEC Defensive Player of the Week. To the recruiting trail we go, and we welcome a 3rd member to the recruiting class. Meet offensive lineman Marcus Harris from Kentucky. He's 6'4", 280 pounds, and he is a solid blocker. He can either play center or guard. We're excited to have him on campus. To the top of the board we go. Our Tigers are starting to pull away from Bama and Ohio State for tackle Marcus Berry. He's a gem that could be a solid right tackle. The excitement for DN Caleb Causey is growing in Grambling. The 6'6" D lineman is a stud and can get after the quarterback. The Tigers have a big lead over Michigan and USC. He's already being compared to a young Khalil Mack. New player to the board this week is 4-star athlete Sean Washington. He's 6'2", 181 pounds from Hawaii, and this kid is a true athlete. He could play 3 different positions, but if he chooses to come to GSU, he could play QB or corner. We're in a battle for shutdown corner Kenneth Johnson from Louisiana. We are trailing Auburn, Ole Miss, Tulane, and Houston. He could come in and start on the outside and completely shut down that side of the field. He'll be on campus next week when we take on Auburn. Next up is big D tackle Lionel Smith. The 4-star Texas native has GSU as his number 1 team. He could team up with Jason Brown next year to plug a lot of holes up the middle. Linebacker Brandon Ginn is going back and forth between Grambling State and Toledo. The 4-star Vermont native would push for playing time next year with 2 seniors graduating at middle linebacker. 5-star wideout Bobby Smith has Grambling State as his number 1 team. He could see some early playing time, just depends on what Chad Terrell and Demetrius Gunn decide to do in the offseason. 4-star athlete Joseph Clayton has the Tigers ahead of Kentucky and South Carolina right now. The Delaware native could play a DN or linebacker. He could see some time at both. The Tigers are looking to add more to an already impressive group of pass rushers, and Michael Anderson has narrowed his choices down to 2 teams, Grambling State and Kentucky. He could play inside or outside on the D-line. The Tigers are looking for safety help with Brian Smith graduating, and Jason Dukes could step in. The 4-star safety has GSU ahead of Vod Tech. He has great speed but needs work on his coverage ability. And lastly is 5-star athlete Kevin Easley from North Carolina. The speedy running back / corner has USC just ahead of GSU. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, IG, and Facebook to stay up to date with all things recruiting. Now it's time to head to Stark Vegas and take on Mississippi State. They come in 2-3 on the season with wins over FCS West and Boston College. The Bulldogs are led by sophomore quarterback Josh Long. He's thrown for 786 yards and 6 touchdowns, but he's a scrambler first. He's got great speed, but his accuracy is low. In the backfield, Kylan Hill is a great back. He's rushed for 430 yards and 2 scores. The duo of Hill and Long will make for a long day for the G-Men defense. Out wide, leading wideout Reggie Todd is out this week, so Long will weigh heavy on sophomore Darren Young and tight end Dante Jones. On defense, middle linebacker Willie Gay is a monster. He leads the team with 37 tackles, and outside linebacker Andre Anthony will be a problem. The Bulldogs are also about 5 deep at corner, led by senior Cameron Dantzler, so the Tigers' pass game will have to be careful this week. Now to the news that everybody's been waiting on. What's the diagnosis of the injury for running back Charlie Brooks? And it looks like our All-American, All-World running back will be out for the rest of the season with a broken wrist. It's a sad day on the campus of Grambling State University. What exactly will the Tigers be missing? Well, the best running back in the country. He's been on campus for 3 years now, and he has gotten better every year. His freshman year, he rushed for 1,954 yards and 27 touchdowns and won the Heisman Trophy. His sophomore year, his yards went down just a little bit, but he finished with 29 touchdowns. And his entire junior year, the 3 games that he played in, 58 carries for 353 yards and 4 scores. Now in his place is Joel Thomas, the redshirt freshman, who is having a solid year so far, and his backup would be Ladarian Ellis-Jones. Such sad news for our Tigers, but we have to keep it moving. But it looks like Herbie is rolling with the Tigers, finally. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're brand new. And don't forget, hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Twitter, IG, and Facebook at Big C Got Game. And we'll talk from Stark Vegas. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace.